All Pro Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling in Bethel Park sponsors tonight's game. 5800 Library Road, 412-595-8204. AllProPlumbing.com. All Pro Plumbing, trusted plumbing services and expert plumbers in Bethel Park.
You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, where we're not quite television today, but more audio, but we bring you the game nonetheless. My name is Nicholas Callis, and this is going to be the final game that's going to determine the quarterfinals for Class 5A in the WPIAL. This is the first round of the WPIAL playoffs. Take a look at the bracket there. So you got Bethel Park, the number 4 seed, playing Franklin Regional, the number 13 seed. Pay no mind to those dates. I didn't get the updated bracket in there, so the date's irrelevant, but all games from yesterday were pushed to today, and so because of the rain. So this game was originally supposed to be played yesterday in Upper St. Clair at 7 o'clock. Now it's going to be played today at 4:30 at Cannon McMillan's Field. You see the starting lineups there for both teams, but I'll go over them now. Dylan Schumacher going to start for Bethel Park on the mound. Batting first, playing second base, Chase Lemke. Batting second, playing first base, NJ Ramchandran. Batting third and playing shortstop is Luke Williams. Batting fourth, playing center field, Brady Yarabinitz. Batting fifth, playing left field, Anthony Mitchell. Batting sixth, playing third base is Ethan Raver. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, it's Liam Bernadowski. Batting eighth and doing the pitching, Jonah Willishell. And batting ninth, doing the catching, is Ryan Catella. That's the starting lineup for Franklin Regional. And then you see Anthony DePaulo. They're playing right field. He's being DH'd for by Bernadowski. Dylan Schumacher, the number 1 pitcher on the mound for Bethel Park for much of this season. He'll be starting Bethel Park's first playoff game of this 2025 season. This is the WPIAL first round. Bethel Park, the number 4 seed, after winning Class 5A Section 2. Had a lead on Peters Township by 1 game to win the section. Left-handed hitting, Chase Lemke stands in now. The crowd cheers this game, about to get underway. Right now, 81 degrees in Cannonsburg, Pennsylvania. It's going to be a warm day for baseball. Moderate clouds in the sky, pretty clear. Certainly the sun is shining, the heat is felt. And this game will start on the turf infield. Grass outfit here at Cannon McMillan's Field. And the first pitch is chopped foul. Out of play on the right side, strike 1. So Dylan Schumacher pitching to Chase Lemke, right-handed pitcher, left-handed hitter. Infield playing back on Lemke. 0-1 is popped up and foul. Strike two. No ball, two strike count on Chase Lemke. Franklin Regional finished third in Class 5A Section 1 behind Plum and Penn Trafford. And Latrobe, they finished fourth with a 6-6 section record. Dylan Schumacher from the windup. The 0-2 pitch. Chopped on the ground again, fouled on the first base side. So the count is still no balls and two strikes on Lemke. I'd like to thank our sponsors for today's game as well. All Pro Plumbing, the presenting sponsor of this game, and also Sharp Insurance Agency, sponsoring the scoreboard you see there on the screen. 0-2. Off speed, that misses. A bit high and outside. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Chase Lemke, Franklin Regional's leadoff hitter. This is the first batter of the game. Top of the first, nobody out. Wind up. Pitch. Swing and a miss. Was early on the pitch. Chase Lemke strikes out, and Bethel Park has 1 out. Top of the first inning. Right-handed hitting, NJ Ramchandran stands in now. Righty-on-righty matchup. Infield still playing back for Bethel Park, and Dylan Schumacher steps off the mound and gets back on. Ramchandran steps out, steps back in. Wind up from Dylan Schumacher. Off speed, strike. Right over the middle of the plate, no balls and 1 strike. So again, Franklin Regional finished fourth in the section of the 7 teams in Class 5A Section 1. Bethel Park was first of the 7 teams in Class 5A Section 2. Chopped on the ground, left side of the infield. Plenty foul, and that makes the count no balls and 2 strikes. Schumacher steps to the left, pivots with the right, kicks with the left and throws. Outside, ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 out, base is empty. Infield playing back for Bethel Park. It's a 1-2 count on Ramchandran. Here's the pitch. Just a bit outside on the fastball from Dylan Schumacher. Even count now, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Schumacher's delivery, 2-2. Off speed, fouled to the backstop. Dylan Schumacher has had high pitch counts in his starts. He's very efficient. He's been in plenty of games where he's escaped jams early on. Teams do make him throw a lot of pitches, though, in his starts. Ramchandran fighting in this plate appearance. Schumacher gets his sign. Another 2-2. High for a ball. And the count runs full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, top of the first inning. Franklin Regional batting. Bethel Park on defense. Full count pitch from Schumacher. Popped up on the infield. Owen White trying for a play in foul territory, and there's Stanhoff as well. They both converged, didn't collide with each other, but the ball did hit off of Owen White's glove side wrist. His left hand there, he couldn't make a play. Ball was twirling in the air, not very high winds, but neither could make a play. Stanhoff and White were in the vicinity by the Bethel Park dugout on the first base side. Ball drops foul, count remains full, 3 balls, 2 strikes, and Dylan Schumacher will throw another one. Here it is. Swing and a miss, he chased a high fastball. Back-to-back strikeouts for Dylan Schumacher to open the top of the first inning. So that makes it 2 outs in the top of the first inning, and now here is the number 3 hitter, Luke Williams, playing shortstop, batting third. Dylan Schumacher with the first pitch of this plate appearance, off speed for a strike. Starting defense for Bethel Park, behind the plate, Ethan Stanhoff at first, Owen White at second, Nick Rillo at shortstop, Ryan Petrus at third base, Mike Bruckner. Outfield after this pitch, 0-1. Strike 2, right over the outside edge. Out in left field, it's Eric Meal. In center field, it's Jack Bruckner. And out in right field for Bethel Park, Joey Levis. Luke Williams, the right-handed hitter, behind in the count. No ball, 2-strike pitch. Schumacher paints the outside corner. Strike 3 called. Dylan Schumacher strikes out the side in order. And after a half inning, no score, Bethel Park and Franklin Regional tied at 0. Bethel Park with its first plate appearances coming up in the bottom of the first inning. After this, you're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube. Sponsored by All Pro Plumbing.
All Pro Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling in Bethel Park sponsors tonight's game. 5800 Library Road, 412-595-8204. AllProPlumbing.com. All Pro Plumbing, trusted plumbing services and expert plumbers in Bethel Park.
Starting lineup for Bethel Park, here it is. You can see it on your screen, but I'll read it to you as well. Batting first, playing shortstop, Ryan Petrus. Batting second, playing catcher, Ethan Stanhoff. Batting third, the designated hitter, Noah Lejeune. Batting fourth, playing third base, is Mike Bruckner. Batting fifth in center is Jack Bruckner. Batting sixth, playing second base, is Nick Rillo. Batting seventh in left field is Eric Meal. Batting eighth and playing first base is Owen White, and batting ninth in right field is Joey Levis. Dylan Schumacher, the pitcher, being designated hit for by Noah Lejeune. And the starting pitcher is left-hander Jonah Willishell for Franklin Regional. Right-handed hitter Ryan Petrus, shortstop, stands in, the leadoff hitter for Bethel Park. Ball misses, counts 1-0. Popped up, right side of the infield, and foul. Ryan Petrus, the consistent leadoff hitter for Bethel Park this season. Too high for a ball, counts 2 balls and 1 strike. Willishell falls behind the first hitter. Willishell from the stretch. Strike 2. Two ball, 2 strike count, bottom of the first inning. Petrus the first to hit for Bethel Park on offense. Strike 3 called on that pitch right over the middle of the plate. And Petrus strikes out. First out, bottom of the first inning. Now here's Ethan Stanoff. Stanoff, the starting catcher for Bethel Park. And this Bethel Park lineup's been pretty consistent throughout the season. Popped up foul. It's strike 1. Been a consistent lineup. Bethel Park lost Ryan Walsh, one of their outfielders, senior, early on in the season to injury. So he's not in the lineup. You see Eric Meal batting 7th. Playing left field. He's been a consistent replacement. Had some good pinch hitting appearances and earned his way into the starting role of left fielder for Bethel Park. Just speaking to that consistency, though, I mean, ever since that Walsh injury, the lineup has been pretty consistent for Bethel Park, and it continues its consistency here. Ethan Stanoff takes the pitch outside for ball 2. 2 ball, 1 strike count, 1 out. Base is empty. Franklin Regional infield playing back. Sharply hit ground ball to third base. Played routinely, throw to first, a little bit high. Stanoff tagged since the throw drew the first baseman off the bag. It was third baseman Ethan Raver to first baseman N.J. Ramchandran. So that put out is the second out of the bottom of the first inning. And now here's designated hitter Nova Lejeune. So Dylan Schumacher struck out the side, and then Peacher struck out. That was the first ball put in play for either team. First pitch to Lejeune misses outside for ball one. Bethel Park may have a matchup advantage since Willishell's a left-handed pitcher, and most of their hitters in the order are right-handed. Fouled back to the backstop on that pitch count, even 1-1. One ball, one strike count, 2 outs, bases empty. Bethel Park batting in the bottom of the first inning. Off-speed pitch hit softly on the ground toward shortstop. Backhanded play, throw off balance, and a good stretch at first base for the out. Luke Williams made a great play, cut it off in the hole, backhanded it, threw off balance to Ramchandran at first base, who stretched, prevented the ball from bouncing. Nova Lejeune forced out at first base, and the inning comes to a close. For Bethel Park, no runs on no hits, and no runners left on base. Through a full inning, no score. Bethel Park and Franklin Regional tied at 1 going to the top of the second. You're listening to Blackhawk TV on YouTube, presented by All Pro Plumbing. You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, presented by All Pro Plumbing. My name is Nicholas Callis. Dylan Schumacher warming up, getting ready for the top of the second inning. Schumacher struck out the side in order in the top of the first, and now has the 4-5 hitters in the order waiting for Franklin Regional. So it's going to be Brady Yarabinitz, followed by Anthony Mitchell, and then Ethan Raver. Yarabinitz, right-handed hitter, coming in to face the right-handed pitcher, Dylan Schumacher. Just 2 balls put in play in total in the top of the first inning. Both were hit on the ground to the left side by Bethel Park for outs. Second inning begins with this pitch. It's a strike to Yarabinitz. Playing center field, batting fourth in the order for Franklin Regional, the 13 seed in the Class 5A baseball bracket. Too high for a ball, and that pitch count is 1-1. Franklin Regional, the lowest seed on this side of the bracket, second lowest seed next to Trinity. It was a 16 seed. That pitch misses outside for a ball. Bethel Park was the Class 5A Section 2 winner. Franklin Regional was 4th of 7 in Class 5A Section 1. 2-1. Fouled off of Ethan Stanhoff. It was a high pitch. He reached up to catch it, and the foul ball went below his outstretched glove. And so the home plate umpire going to give him a minute to walk it off as courtesy. Stanhoff puts his mask back on after a breather. Visibly appears to be okay. Counts 2 balls, 2 strikes on Brady Yarabinitz, the cleanup hitter in the order for Franklin Regional, leading off this top of the second inning. Schumacher with an off-speed pitch gets him to chase it low and away. And that's 4 consecutive strikeouts to open the ball game for Dylan Schumacher. 1 out, top of the second.
Number 15, Anthony Mitchell.
Anthony Mitchell, left fielder for Franklin Regional, number 5 hitter in the order. And as a left-handed hitter, facing the right-handed pitching Dylan Schumacher. First one, too high. And Mitchell shakes his head, indicating indeed he knows it's a ball. Counts 1-0. 1 out, base is empty. Bethel Park's defense still electing to play as far back as possible. Schumacher with a slower windup and a high fly ball hit to straightaway center field, and Jack Bruckner runs it down, catches it over his head for out number 2. That ends the 4 consecutive strikeout streak for Dylan Schumacher. It's the first ball that Franklin Regional put in play. And it was an out, a fly out to center field. That makes it now 2 outs in the top of the second inning. And here comes the right-handed hitting, number 6 hitting third baseman, Ethan Raver for Franklin Regional. A little bit too low for a ball on that pitch. Counted as 1 ball and no strikes. Righty on righty matchup. Schumacher gets a pop-up left side of the infield. And just over the fence down the third base line. Foul ball. Count evens up 1 ball and 1 strike. Top of the second, 2 outs. Base is empty. Franklin Regional has Ethan Raver batting. Schumacher, he gets his sign, steps with the left, pivots with the right, kicks with the left, and throws. Off-speed pitch chased by Raver, and now Raver falls behind to the count. It is 2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch. Off-speed, swung on and missed. Ethan Raver down on strikes. That's 5 strikeouts for Dylan Schumacher through 2 innings. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base for Franklin Regional. After an inning and a half, no score still from Cannon McMillan's high school field, the neutral site of this game. Bottom of the second coming up next. You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, presented by All Pro Plumbing.
And as we head into the bottom of the second, it is still a 0-0 game.
You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV, presented by All Pro Plumbing. You see the bracket there. And so this is the final game of the first round of the WPIAL playoffs in Class 5A. And those dates are incorrect. They're updated from yesterday. There were a bunch of rainouts that happened. So this game was supposed to be played yesterday at 7. Now going to be is in progress. Started at 4:30. Now they're playing here at Bethel Park, the 4 seed. Franklin Regional, the 13 seed. 4-5-6 to up for Bethel Park this half inning. Mike Bruckner takes a very slow off-speed pitch, just dropped into the zone for strike 1. Mike Bruckner, Jack Bruckner, Nick Rillo, the 3 set to hit in the bottom of the second for Bethel Park. Another slow ball on the ground through the middle of the infield. Sharply on the ground for a base hit, and Mike Bruckner rounds first routinely and strolls back. He's got a leadoff single, and that's the first hit of the game for either team. Bethel Park has been known to bunt frequently this season. Coach Zender from the third base coaching box calls out a numbered sign. They don't do physical touch signals on the body. They do a number pattern. Left-handed hitter Willis Shell throws the pitch. Bunt is shown and dropped by Jack Bruckner right in front of the plate. Throw to first is late. Catello got to it as quickly as he could. Picked it up, threw it to first base, but Jack Bruckner beat the throw out. So instead of a sacrifice, that is a bunt single for Jack Bruckner. Back-to-back hits open up the bottom of the second for Bethel Park. 2 on with nobody out. The corner infielders playing in for Franklin Regional, and Nick Rillo comes to the plate. Second baseman for Bethel Park and left-handed hitter. This is the first lefty-on-lefty matchup for Willishell. Bunt shown again. This time it's down by Rillo, sharply to Willishell, who elects to throw it to first. And the second baseman, Lemke, for Franklin Regional, was covering first base. So that is an out. Nick Rillo is credited with a sacrifice bunt. No official at bat there. He moves both Mike Bruckner and Jack Bruckner into scoring position. Mike Bruckner's on third base. Jack Bruckner's on second. And here comes Eric Meal, left fielder and 7-hitter in the order for Bethel Park. Willishell throws to the right-handed hitter and gets a strike. Around the knees, counts 0-1. Eric Meal has earned starting opportunities this season because of the Ryan Walsh injury, but I do say earned because he came in and he's been a very consistent hitter for this Bethel Park team this season. Takes another strike at the knees and he falls behind, no balls and 2 strikes. Willishell delivers from the stretch, off speed. Just a bit off the plate. So Willishell, pretty healthy velocity there. Hard-throwing fastball, but he also drops in what looks like a changeup, just a lobby pitch, trying to get hitters off balance. 1-2 is swung through and missed by Eric Meal. He's down on strikes, and Franklin Regional with a small sigh of relief. Still 2 runners in scoring position. But now there are 2 outs in the bottom of the second, and now here's first baseman Owen White. Franklin Regional's infield now moves back, not needing to protect a run from scoring with the 2 outs. This ball misses, counts 1-0. Starting defense for Franklin Regional, Ryan Catello doing the catching. NJ Ramchandran at first base, Chase Lemke at second, Ethan Raver at third base, Luke Williams at shortstop. Pitch too high. Off the plate, Owen White ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Anthony Mitchell for Franklin Regional out in left field. In center field is Brady Yarabinitz, and in right field, Anthony DiPaolo. Two-0. Off the plate. Makes it a 3-ball, no-strike count. Joey Levis would bat next if Owen White can reach. 3-0 pitch to Owen White is too high. Ball 4, a 4-pitch walk of Owen White. Loads the bases for Bethel Park with 2 outs.
Next up, number 12, Joey Levis.
Right fielder Joey Levis comes in. Bethel Park's number 9 hitter and one of just 2 lefties in this Bethel Park order. Jonah Willishell, the starting pitcher is left-handed, so this is a lefty-on-lefty matchup. That's ball 1. Mike Bruckner on third base, Jack Bruckner on second, Owen White on first base. 2 outs, bottom of the second, and Levis takes a strike. A low outside strike, counts even, 1 ball and 1 strike. Willishell comes set at the belt and delivers a pitch that's high and inside. Joey Levis ahead in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. Willishell gets his sign, comes set. Out of the stretch, delivers a chopper on the ground, right side of the infield. Lemke throws over to Ramchandran at first base. And that out ends the second inning. Bethel Park leaves the bases loaded and fails to score. After 2 full innings, it's Bethel Park 0 and Franklin Regional 0. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV. You're listening to, I got to get that right, you're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV, and it's presented by All Pro Plumbing. You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, presented by All Pro Plumbing. My name is Nicholas Callis. Beautiful day for baseball, 81 degrees in Cannonsburg. Clear skies with, moderate clouds, partly cloudy, I'd say. The sun is shining bright on this baseball game. It's been a well-pitched game through 2 innings. Dylan Schumacher with 5 strikeouts gets back on the mound, ready to start the 3rd inning. 7, 8, 9 hitters due up for Franklin Regional. First pitch misses for a ball. Counts 1-0. Liam Bernadowski, Jonah Williashell, and Ryan Catello, the 3 set to hit in the top of the 3rd. On the ground to Ryan Petrus at shortstop. Throw to Owen White at first base, and Bernadowski, the designated hitter, is forced out at first. 1 out, top of the 3rd. So Schumacher, of the 7 hitters he's faced, he struck out 5. And he gets Bernadowski there on 2 pitches. 1 out, base is empty, top of the 3rd. Here is Jonah Willishell. The 2 mound opponents facing each other. Willishell pops it up. Playable on the infield. Stanhoff, he couldn't find it. The dugout was trying to help him, and he ran to it just a bit too late. It drops foul down along the 3rd base side. Strike 1. No ball, 1 strike count. Willishell, a left-handed pitcher, but batting from the right side of the plate. So this is a righty-on-righty matchup. Schumacher is throwing from the windup. Gets his sign. Steps with the left, pivots with the right, kicks with the left, pitch. Ball, too low and outside. Counts even 1-1. Bethel Park infield playing as far back on the infield representation of the turf, the dark part. As that pitch misses for a ball, it counts 2-1. So this is a turf infield, grass outfield. Bethel Park playing on the lip of where the turf ends on the infield. That's how far back there most of them are playing. 2-1 pitch. Ball, low and outside, counts 3-1. Willishell steps back in at the plate. Dylan Schumacher gets back on the mound. Hitters count for Willishell, 3-1 delivery. Strike 2 over the outside edge. That runs the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Chase the high fastball, swing and a miss. 6 strikeouts for Dylan Schumacher, and that is out number 2.
Now up number 25, Ryan Catello.
2 outs, bases empty. Bethel Park on defense. Franklin Regional hitting. Here's Ryan Catello. Popped up behind the plate, foul. Out of play, strike 1. So 8 hitters have batted for Franklin Regional. Just 2 have put the ball in play. Dylan Schumacher steps off. Bethel Park had the bases loaded in the bottom of the second but failed to score. So we've got a tie ball game with 2 outs in the top of the third. 0-1. High, ball 1 on Ryan Catello. Catello doing the catching, batting 9th in the order. 1-1. Strike 2 called high and inside corner of the plate. Catello behind, 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases empty. Infield playing back. Schumacher from the wind. Swing and a miss. A foul tip, rather, indicated by the umpire. Either way, it's a strikeout, and through the first 9 hitters in the order, one time through the order for Dylan Schumacher, he struck out 7 batters. And keeps Franklin Regional scoreless through 3. Going to the bottom of the third inning, it's Bethel Park 0 and Franklin Regional 0. You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, and this broadcast is presented by All Pro Plumbing.
All Pro Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling in Bethel Park sponsors tonight's game. 5800 Library Road, 412-595-8204. AllProPlumbing.com. All Pro Plumbing, trusted plumbing services and expert plumbers in Bethel Park.
You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, and this broadcast presented by All Pro Plumbing. My name is Nicholas Callis. Dylan Schumacher with 7 strikeouts, and he's faced the minimum of 9 through 3 innings. Now Bethel Park gets its shot to bat in the bottom of the third, and Bethel Park going through the entire order through the first 2 innings. So Ryan Petrus to bat. It's Petrus, Stanhoff, Lejeune. The 3 set to hit. Bunt shown and pulled back for a ball. 1 ball, no strike count on Petrus, who is 0 for 1. Bethel Park got the first hit of the game for either team last inning. Mike Bruckner was the one to do it. Jack Bruckner had a sacrifice bunt that went for a bunt single because he beat out the throw to first. Ball fouled off. Counts even 1-1. Bethel Park did leave the bases loaded, though, in the bottom of the second. That's why we still have a scoreless tie in the bottom of the third. Off speed by Willashell, thrown for a ball, counts 2-1. Jonah Willashell pitching. Tight-roped out of danger in the bottom of the second, has kept Bethel Park scoreless. Now coming into the third inning. Here's the 2-1. Low and inside for a ball on Ryan Petrus. Count is 3 balls and 1 strike. Hitters count on Ryan Petrus. 3-1. Sharply hit and caught at third base by Ethan Raver. That was a line drive. It was hit right at Raver. All he had to do was cross his glove over to his backhanded side, and he was able to make the catch. And is out number 1. Right-handed hitting Ethan Stanhoff comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1. Willashell from the stretch with the bases empty. He throws a pitch that bounces about 5 feet before home plate. Ball 1. One 0 pitch. On the ground, softly hit toward the middle. Played by Lemke at second. Throws to first, and Stanhoff is forced out at first base. That is out number 2.
Now, that's number Number 26, Noah Lejeune.
Noah Lejeune will bat with 2 outs and the base is empty. No score, bottom of the 3rd inning between Franklin Regional and Bethel Park. First pitch too high for a ball. Delivered by Will Lachelle. 1 ball, no strikes on Lejeune. Hit a home run this season for Bethel Park as the designated hitter. He's been consistently in the 3 spot in the order. On the ground to the left side of the infield. Played at shortstop. Luke Williams throws to Ramchandran at first base, and that'll end the inning. Bethel Park's top of the order goes down 1-2-3. And after 3 full innings, it is Bethel Park 0, Franklin Regional 0. You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, presented by All Pro Plumbing. You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube. Quick review of the bracket. So we do have an updated bracket. Can't enter it in as a visual on my program here, but I'll just tell you. Pine Richland beat Trinity to advance to the 2nd round. Greater Latrobe, the number 9 seed, beat 8 seed Fox Chapel. So they're on the higher side of the bracket. Bethel Park and Franklin Regional down on this lower left side of the bracket. They're playing right now. Thomas Jefferson played Upper St. Clair, and Thomas Jefferson won that one. Upper St. Clair was a 12 seed, lost to the 5 seed, Thomas Jefferson Jaguars. On the right side of the bracket, Mars beat Plum, which is a big upset. Mars with the 15 seed, Plum the 2 seed. Peters Township just beat Baldwin the game before this one by a 5-4 final score. Shaler beat Montour. Shaler, the 3 seed, beat Montour, the 14 seed. And Penn Trafford and Connellsville, not a posted score, but the game was played at noon. So there has to be a final somewhere. It just wasn't quite yet acknowledged on the website by the WPIAL. So that means that the winner of this game will go on to play Thomas Jefferson. And right now that date is scheduled for Monday the 19th. First pitch, a ball, counts 1-0. Dylan Schumacher with 7 strikeouts through 3 innings. And has kept Franklin Regional hitless through those first 3 innings. Chase Lemke, NJ Ramchandran, and Luke Williams, the 3 to hit to begin the 4th inning for Franklin Regional. Bunt shown, pulled back, and a strike delivered by Schumacher. Counts 2-1. Bethel Park had the best chance to score in the 2nd inning, left the bases loaded. And like I said, Franklin Regional hasn't had anybody on base yet this game. Counts even 2-2 after Schumacher threw a low inside pitch for a strike. Left-handed hitting Lemke, ready for the pitch by the right-hander Schumacher, and that one is high and deep out to right center field. Bruckner took a off-kilter route to the ball, and that ball one-hopped the wall in straightaway center field. Bruckner picked it up and threw it to Petrus, the cutoff man. Lemke made his way to second base on the play, and that is the first hit for Franklin Regional. And it's an extra base hit, putting Lemke in scoring position with nobody out. Schumacher out of the stretch for the first time today. Righty-on-righty matchup now that NJ Ramchandran comes to bat. One of the many strikeout victims. He struck out back in the first. First baseman and 2-hitter in the order for Franklin Regional. Franklin Regional, the 13 seed in the Class 5A WPIAL baseball playoffs. Bethel Park, the 4 seed. He puts the bunt down, and Owen White slides by the first base line and then makes the catch, throws it to second, and it gets into center field. Gets past Ryan Petrus covering second base. Jack Bruckner gets it in, but without throwing it to third. Chase Lemke makes it into third without a throw, without a contested play.
Now up number 2, Williams.
So Ramchandran was trying to sacrifice bunt. He popped the bunt up and was out, but it worked like a sacrifice bunt anyway because Owen White's errant throw got into center, allowing for Lemke to get to third. So Lemke, 90 feet away from scoring. There's one out in the top of the fourth inning. And now here's the number 3 hitter and shortstop of the team, Luke Williams, who takes ball 1 outside. Well, to this point in time, this is Franklin Regional's best chance to score. Just got their first hit on Chase Lemke's double. And he made it to third on a Bethel Park error. 1-0 pitch to Williams. Strike. Counts even, 1 ball and 1 strike. Owen White, the first baseman, playing even with the first base bag. Mike Bruckner, the third baseman, is playing behind the third base bag. Luke Williams chops it on the ground left side. Petrus backhands, throws to White. And White couldn't make the grab at first base, so Luke Williams beats it out with no contest. Score that one an infield single for Luke Williams. And Franklin Regional able to strike first. 1-0's the score. That error proves costly for Bethel Park. Time's going to be called. And the assistant coach going to come out and talk to the Bethel Park infield. So Chase Lemke led this inning off with a double. He advanced to third. Ramchandran, he popped the bunt up to the first base side. Owen White made a great play over at first, made a sliding grab on the first base line, but then tried to throw the ball to second. It got past Ryan Petrus into center field, allowing for Lemke to advance to third on the play, so it essentially acted as a sacrifice bunt. And then with 1 out and Lemke on third, Luke Williams hit a ground ball into the hole on the left side of the infield. Ryan Petrus made a play on a throw to first, but Williams beat it out. And here we are, 1-0, top of the fourth inning. And now the number 4 hitter and center fielder for Franklin Regional comes to the plate. It's Brady Yarabinitz. Well, for one in the game to this point is Yarabinitz. Pickoff attempt to first base by Schumacher. Owen White's tag is too late. Luke Williams back safely. Franklin Regional finished 4th of 7 teams in Class 5A Section 1. Bethel Park was the section winner of Class 5A Section 2. Schumacher slide step. Runner goes. Strike called. Throw to second by Stanhoff. Tag applied by Petrus. And Luke Williams called out at second base. Now Luke Williams takes a minute. He's slow to get up behind the second base bag, wincing in pain. So it's a no ball, 1 strike count on Brady Yarabinitz. And on the play, Luke Williams tried to steal second. Standoff's throw was strong and accurate. Williams was tagged out, but now he is injured there at second base behind the second base bag. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, and this broadcast presented by All Pro Plumbing.
All Pro Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling in Bethel Park sponsors tonight's game. 5800 Library Road, 412-595-8204. AllProPlumbing.com. All Pro Plumbing, trusted plumbing services and expert plumbers in Bethel Park.
You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, presented by All Pro Plumbing. Luke Williams is hobbling off the field. He's walking completely on his own, just with a bit of a hobble. He was thrown out trying to steal second base. and got hurt on that play. Potential substitution is going to depend with his injury. We'll let you know what happens when it does. But he was thrown out for the second out of the inning. Brady Yarabinitz is batting now with the bases empty and 2 outs. And a strike was thrown before the caught stealing, so it's a no ball, 1 strike count. Schumacher into the wind. Throws that pitch for a ball. Count even, 1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch. Strike 2 called over the lower inside corner of the plate. Yarabinitz falls behind. 1 ball, 2 strike count, 2 outs, bases empty, top of the 4th inning, 1 run in for Franklin Regional. The pitch. Line drive out toward left center field. That's going to fall into the gap. Jack Bruckner cuts it off in center field, or as the center fielder in left center. Throws it into Ryan Petrus, the cutoff man. It's a single for Yarabinitz. That's the 3rd hit of the inning for Franklin Regional. So after not getting any hits through the first 3 innings, they get 3 in this 3rd. They've produced a run. Yarabinitz on first base with 2 outs, and the inning will continue now with Anthony Mitchell, the left-handed hitter, standing in. Schumacher comes set at the chest. Slide step. Popped up. Left center field. Eric Meal's going to call for it in shallow left center, and Eric Meal makes the catch. And the inning comes to an end. 1 run in, though, for Franklin Regional in the top of the 4th inning, and they have broken the scoreless tie. It's 1-0 going to the bottom of the 4th. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube. And this broadcast is presented by All Pro Plumbing. I'll put up the updated bracket so you can see it there visually. But the winner of this game, Bethel Park and Franklin Regional, will play Thomas Jefferson in the quarterfinals of the WPIAL playoffs. There's still no reported score, but on the WPIAL website. But that Penn Trafford-Connellsville game on the bottom right part of the bracket there, that was played at noon. That was one of the makeups because there was rain yesterday. Quite the opposite today. Partly cloudy skies, 80 degrees in Cannonsburg. Kenny McMillan's Field playing host to this game as the neutral site between Franklin Regional and Bethel Park. Bethel Park trailing by a run. 4 hits in the top of the 4th for Franklin Regional. 1 run pushed across. Oh, I correct myself. Hold on. It was 3 hits that pushed across a run, just to be more accurate. Ball 1 thrown to Mike Bruckner. Bethel Park had the bases loaded in the 2nd. That was their best chance to score to this point. They still are scoreless. Pitch called a strike at the knees of Mike Bruckner. Counts even 1-1. Mike Bruckner, Jack Bruckner, Nick Rillo, the 3. Set to hit in the bottom of the 4th here against Jonah Willishell, who throws one of those slow changeups outside for a ball. Counts 2-1. Like I said, he's got a pretty firm fastball, and he mixes in that changeup that's just ultra slow in an effort to get hitters off balance. Foul ball off the backstop behind the plate. Counts 2-2. Bethel Park's dugout yelling a bit. The ball hit off the pole, as a matter of fact, on the left side of that cage, and then ricocheted and was caught by the first base coach of Bethel Park. Bethel Park having a bit of fun with that one. Pitch misses high from Willishell for a ball. Counts 3-2. Bruckner, right-handed hitter, facing the left-handed pitcher, Willishell. It's a full count. Mike Bruckner opening the inning off for Bethel Park on offense. Swinging a foul back there. Count remains full. 3-2. Franklin Regional leads 1-0 in the bottom of the fourth inning. Willishell throwing from the stretch. The kick and pitch. High for ball 4. Bruckner hit a ground ball single in the second inning. He's now 2 for 2 in the on-base percentage after walking there. Jack Bruckner batting now. 5-hitter in the order, center fielder for Bethel Park, who is 1 for 1 after he tried a sacrifice bunt back in the second inning and ended up beating it out to first base. Bunt shown. Pulled back. Bruckner was running. Throw to second is late by Catello, the catcher. And Mike Bruckner steals second base. So it's a no-ball, one-strike count on Jack Bruckner, now with Mike Bruckner in scoring position at second base. Willishell comes set. Looks to second twice. Delivers the pitch. Bunt shown. Pulled back. And the pitch misses low for a ball. And this is Bethel Park's strategy. It's been Bethel Park's strategy for most of the season, bunting in many situations to try to advance runners. And it worked well enough to give them a section championship this season. Willishell comes set. Bunt shown again. Pitch is down the third base side of the field. Willishell comes off the mound. Throws to first. Second baseman Lemke was covering, and Jack Bruckner was thrown up by half a step. That will go down as a sacrifice bunt, though, so Bruckner will not be charged in at bat. Mike Bruckner advances from second to third on the play. So there's one out in the bottom of the fourth inning. Potential tying run in the form of Mike Bruckner on third base. And here's Nick Rillo, lefty on lefty matchup here. Rillo gets hit by the pitch. First one he sees that plate appearance, and he'll go down to first. McRillo remains 0 for 0. Hasn't had an official at bat yet. He had a sacrifice bunt back in the second and just got hit by the pitch there. Now time called. Franklin Regional will have a conference on the mound. So Bethel Park started this inning off with Mike Bruckner getting a free pass base on balls. Jack Bruckner had a sacrifice bunt. Mike Bruckner stole second, then a sacrifice bunt moved Mike Bruckner from second to third. Nick Rillo just got hit with the pitch, so that puts Mike Bruckner on third base, Nick Rillo on first base. And there was one out in the bottom of the fourth inning. Franklin Regional just scored in the top of the first inning, got its first hit and first run in that top of the fourth. Now in the bottom of the fourth, Bethel Park threatens to score. The top of the order has been set down in order twice. It's the bottom of the order that's made the most noise, though no runs have been produced yet. Willishell, the left-handed pitcher, looks at first base. Rillo goes. Oh, acted like he was going, then stopped. And the strike was called on Eric Meal, counts 0-1. Eric Meal, right-handed hitter, batting in a run-scoring spot here. He is 0 for 1 in this game. Runners on the corners. Rillo, he was on first base. He actually thought he was going to get picked off. He lunged back toward first base as the pitch was delivered, and it was a strike thrown to Eric Meal. Nothing in two pitch. Rillo goes. Meal chops it on the ground up the middle. Played by Lemke on the left side of the second base bag. Eric Meal is thrown out at first base, but Mike Bruckner comes in from third to score, and Bethel Park ties the game. It's 1-1.
Next up, number 15, Owen White.
On the play, Nick Rillo advances from first to second, and him running on the pitch helped Bethel Park score. Gave him a head start and made a double play nearly impossible. So Nick Rillo in scoring position at second. 1 ball, no strike count now on Owen White. White takes high for a ball, counts 2-0. White walked in his first plate appearance back in the second inning. Two ball, no strike count. Fouled it back toward the backstop. Counts 2-1. Willishell comes set at the belt. 2-1. White takes a ball below the knees. Hitters count. 3 ball, 1 strike count. Three-one pitch. Swing and a miss. Owen White with a big hack. Chased the pitch outside. And that runs the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Willishell for Franklin Regional just gave up a run. Tie game 1-1. Owen White batting here for Bethel Park. Payoff pitch. Fouled toward the backstop. The count is still full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Right-handed hitter, left-handed pitcher. Another full count pitch. Ball 4. Owen White walks. Second walk for him this game. Puts runners on first and second. Nick Rillo on second, Owen White on first. And with that, Bethel Park is going to have a courtesy runner. It's going to be Brady Bruckner, who will run for Nick Rillo at second base. Bethel Park electing to put speed on the base paths, increasing its chances of scoring on a base hit. Joey Levis grounded out with the bases loaded back in the second inning. He is 0 for 1. Has another chance to drive across a run. If he can get a hit here. Take strike 1 over the outside part of the plate. Joey Levis just one of 2 left-handed hitters in this order. This is a lefty-on-lefty matchup with Willishell, the left-handed pitcher. 0-1. Bunt shown. Bunt popped up behind the plate. Catello has a play. Couldn't quite make it, though. It was a soft little pop-up. Catello couldn't get it. It drops foul down the third base side of the field. Counts no balls and 2 strikes on Joey Levis. Willishell gets his sign. After shaking off twice, he gets one, comes set at the belt, lifts his right leg and delivers a pitch that is fouled. Behind the plate again by Joey Levis. He's still in the hole. It's no balls, 2 strikes. Top of the order due up next. Ryan Petrus would bat if Levis could reach. Willishell comes set at the belt. Another pitch. Change up, foul ball. There's another one of those loopy change ups. Levis just got a piece of it. It hit off Catello's glove, the catcher, and he could not secure it for the strikeout, so that is a foul ball. Still an 0-2 count on Joey Levis. The pitch. Line drive out toward right center field. That will split the gap. Brady Bruckner is going to score from second. Owen White rounds third, and he stops there. Joey Levis is into second base with a 2-out RBI double. And Bethel Park has its first lead of the game. Brady Bruckner, the pinch runner, scored from second. Owen White advanced from first to third. Joey Levis is on second base. White on third, Levis on second, and Bethel Park has the top of the order up here. Now it's Ryan Petrus. Takes ball one. The pitch on the ground towards shortstop. Played by Williams. Throws to first. Ryan Petrus is out at first base. He's 0 for 3 in the game. And that play ends the fourth inning. But Bethel Park, after giving up a run in the top of the fourth, puts up double that. 2 runs in the bottom of the fourth inning, and Bethel Park takes a 2-1 lead going into inning number 5. 2-1's the score. You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, presented by All Pro Plumbing. There's the bracket there for you one more time. The winner of this game going to play Thomas Jefferson, who beat Upper St. Clair in the first round. Upper St. Clair, another member of Class 5A Section 2, same section Bethel Park's from. Bethel Park won that section. Upper St. Clair finished third of the 7 teams in that section. Franklin Regional finished fourth of the 7 teams in Class 5A Section 1 with a 6-6 section record. Right now trailing 2-1. Each team scored in the fourth inning. Bethel Park just scored one more, so it's 2-1 lead. We're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball, listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube. Nick Rillo re-enters the game for Bethel Park. He was pinch ran for by Brady Bruckner. Brady Bruckner did end up scoring in that bottom of the fourth. Nick Rillo re-entered, so Brady Bruckner out of the game. And Rillo now out of re-entry, so he has to stay in the game for the remainder unless another substitution would happen, in which case he would be officially out. Dylan Schumacher pitching into the fifth inning. 6, 7, 8 hitters due up for Franklin Regional. Second pitch of the at-bat into left field. Eric Meal plays it in relative left center field. That was Ethan Raver, who just flew out. That is the first out of the top of the fifth. There's Liam Bernadowski, the designated hitter. He's hitting for right fielder Anthony DiPaolo. And he takes that pitch for a ball down low. He's the 7th hitter in the order for Franklin Regional. Takes a strike there, counts even 1-1 on Bernadowski. He is 0 for 1. So the first 1-1 pitch. That one lined out towards straightaway center. Jack Bruckner over his head a bit. He misjudged it, and it gets over his head in center field. Jack Bruckner looked like he had a routine play, and then all of a sudden readjusted himself at the last second to backpedal and then pivot. He leaped, and the ball went over his head. And so Bernadowski able to get into second base. In scoring position with 1 out. Top of the fifth, and here comes Jonah Willishell, the pitcher. 0 for 1 in this game. But Schumacher, first time through the order, retired the first 9 hitters he faced and struck out 7 of them. Has given up a run since. He gave up a run in the top of the 4th inning. It was a combination of Chase Lemke and Luke Williams producing that run for Franklin Regional. Bethel Park scored 2 in the bottom half of the inning. Bottom half of that 4th inning as Stanhoff goes to talk to Schumacher briefly. Eric Meal had a ground out that brought home Mike Bruckner. And Joey Levis had an RBI double to drive home the second run. Wave and a miss at that pitch. Counts 0-1. Jonah Willishell, right-handed hitter, facing the right-handed pitcher Dylan Schumacher. 0-1 pitch. Softly hit out towards straightaway center. Bruckner running in. He's not going to make the play. Bruckner plays it on a hop and throws a strong ball to third base, preventing Bernadowski from advancing on second. So he retreats immediately and stays on second base. That'll be a single for Jonah Willishell. So it's first and second. Bernadowski on second, Willishell on first. Now is the number 9 hitter in Franklin Regional's order. It is Ryan Catello. And before that at bat begins, there's going to be a courtesy runner for the pitcher Jonah Willishell. That is Tommy Ferrugio. So Ferrugio courtesy running, excuse me. The pitchers and catchers in the WPIAL are allowed to have courtesy runners because they're the 2 most taxed positions defensively. So they get a designated runner to run for them every time they get on base with no substitution penalty. Catello took strike 1, no ball, 1 strike count on the Franklin Regional catcher. Dylan Schumacher pitching out of the stretch. There it is. Popped up. Foul ball. A ball, 2 strike count. Schumacher comes set at the letters. Big kick with the left leg, and the pitch is too high and inside. On Catello, it's ball 1. Top of the 5th inning, runners on first and second for Franklin Regional. There's 1 out. And it's a 1-run Bethel Park lead. Franklin Regional hitting. Schumacher, a few seconds to get his sign, now comes set. And the pitch. Strike 2 at the top of the zone, or strike 3 as a matter of fact, my apologies. That's strike 3. Ryan Catello strikes out looking for the second out. Top of the order back up for Franklin Regional. 4th. Pitch. Lemke takes strike 1 over the outside edge. Lemke batting from the left side of the plate. Schumacher, right-handed pitcher. Bethel Park infield is playing at pretty normal depth. Oh, 1 pitch. Too high for a ball. Count is 1-1. Ryan Petrus holding on the runner Bernadowski at second base. Mike Bruckner is playing not as far back toward the edge of the infield as he was before. He's got to be prepared to cover third on a wild pitch or a stolen base. See if that plays a factor at all. But the right side of the infield, the 2 infielders playing on the edge of the outfield grass. 1-1 pitch. On the ground, right side of the infield, Nick Rillo plays it. Throws to Owen White at first base. Chase Lemke is out. That is the third out of the top of the fifth inning. For Franklin Regional, no runs. Despite two runners being left on base. Going to the bottom of the fifth inning, it is Bethel Park 2 and Franklin Regional 1. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, presented by All Pro Plumbing.
All Pro Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling in Bethel Park sponsors tonight's game. 5800 Library Road, 412-595-8204. AllProPlumbing.com. All Pro Plumbing, trusted plumbing services and expert plumbers in Bethel Park.
Well, there's the bracket for you one more time. Just updating you on all the games. The winner of this game is going to play Thomas Jefferson. You see these guys in the bottom left corner of the bracket. Franklin Regional, fourth place team of 7 in Class 5A Section 1. Bethel Park, the winner of Class 5A Section 2. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, presented by All Pro Plumbing. My name is Nicholas Callis. Bethel Park batting in the bottom of the fifth with a 2-1 lead over Franklin Regional. 2, 3, 4 hitters do up for Bethel Park this half inning. Ethan Stanhoff, Noah Lejeune, and Mike Bruckner, the three to begin this inning for Bethel Park on offense. Jonah Willishell still pitching for Franklin Regional. Both teams scored in the fourth. Franklin Regional went scoreless in the top of the fifth. Pitch misses for a ball, counts 1-0. 1-0 is too high for a ball. Franklin Regional has some substitutions. Chase Lemke goes from second to shortstop. And Stanoff fouls that pitch off behind the plate. Counts 2-1 on him. Too high, count is 3-1. Popped up and foul. Counts full 3-2 on Ethan Stanhoff, opening the inning for Bethel Park on offense. Line drive into left field. That'll fall for a hit. Left fielder plays it on a hop and gets it in. Ethan Stanoff gets his first hit of the game.
Next up, number 26,
And with that courtesy runner for Bethel Park, that's going to be Caden Stokes, who's going to courtesy run for the catcher, Ethan Stanoff. Now Noah Lejeune to hit. Runner goes. Lejeune takes for a ball. Catello's throw to second is well too late on a hop. Stokes steals second base. So like I said, Chase Lemke, by the way, just update you on the defensive switch. Chase Lemke is now at shortstop from second, and Anthony DiPaolo looks like he came. He's going to go from right field to second base. 1-1 pitch. Lejeune swings and misses for strike 2. 1-ball, 2-strike count on the Bethel Park designated hitter, Noah Lejeune. The pitch. Ball misses outside. Count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Line drive into center for a base hit. Stokes rounds third. The throw in from Yarabinitz is cut off, and nobody was covering first base. Noah Lejeune rounded first base hard, but since nobody was covering the bag, he was safe. Getting back to the base. Lejeune with his first hit of the game, he's now 1 for 3. And that puts runners on the corners with nobody out. And the middle of the order coming up for Bethel Park. Here's Mike Bruckner. Now time called. Franklin Regional will have a meeting at the mound. You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, presented by All Pro Plumbing. Both starting pitchers still in the game. Jonah Willishell pitching into trouble here. He had a short-lived lead, gave it up by giving up 2 runs to Bethel Park in the bottom of the 4th inning. Each team last scored in the bottom of the 4th. Bethel Park threatening here, though. Ethan Stanhoff singled to open the inning. Courtesy runner Caden Stokes advanced to third after Noah Lejeune's single. Stokes also stole second base for Bethel Park. So it's Stokes on third, Lejeune on first. Mike Bruckner batting here. Pickoff attempt to first base, however, before the pitch. And back safely is Lejeune. Also, it looks like I found out who is in right field now for Franklin Regional. Looks like Evan Meeker's out there. Strike. No ball, 1 strike count on Mike Bruckner. And a run-scoring spot here. And before the pitch, Willishell steps off. Pivotal spot here in the game. Bethel Park could break this game open, still nobody out. Willishell, the left-handed pitcher, looking at first and then steps off with his left foot. Noah Lejeune's lead not too big because of the left-hander on the mound. Willishell's facing Lejeune. Pitch delivered. It bounces up to the plate. Catello keeps it in front of him. Count is even, 1 ball and 1 strike. Runner goes. Strike called on Bruckner. Throw to second. Gets there. Tag applied by Lemke, but Lejeune is safe at second. One ball, 2 strike count on Mike Bruckner. 2 runners in scoring position for him now. And the Franklin Regional infield is playing in. Playing run, prevention, defense. The pitch. Pop up. Foul down the right side of the field, out of play over the fence. Count remains 1-2. Mike Bruckner ready for the pitch. Off speed. Another one of those slow changeups, too low. This plate appearance churns further. Counts even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Willishell, the lefty, comes set at the belt. Mike Bruckner, the right-handed hitter, gets ready for the pitch. And he takes it too high. And that runs the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Jack Bruckner getting his swings in on deck. He's set to hit next for Bethel Park. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Ball for it, missed too low, and Mike Bruckner walks. For his second time this game, and he's been on base all 3 times he's come to the plate. And that walk loads the bases for Bethel Park. Bruckner bunt single and sacrifice bunt. Previously in his 2 plate appearances, he bats now with the bases loaded and nobody out. Caden Stokes on third base, Noah Lejeune on second, Mike Bruckner on first. The Franklin Regional infield is playing in. And Willishall steps off the mound in the process of getting his signs. Now he comes set. The delivery. Change up. Off the plate, ball 1. Nowhere to put Jack Bruckner. Nobody out. It's a 2-1 ball game. Bethel Park leads and has an opportunity to add to that lead. 1-0. Strike over the outside edge of the plate. Count even 1-1. Too low for a ball. Jack Bruckner gets ahead in the count. It's a 2-ball, 1-strike count. The pitch. Fouled back toward the backstop. Count even 2 balls and 2 strikes. A fly ball likely to score a run in this situation. Base hit certainly scores a run. A walk scores a run. A hit batter scores a run. 2-2 pitch. Popped up again. Foul to the backstop. Still a 2-2 count. Another 2-2. High and outside for a ball, and that runs the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Nowhere to put Jack Bruckner with the bases loaded and nobody out. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Jack Bruckner lunged at the outside fastball thrown by Willishall, and that's a big first out for Franklin Regional. Jack Bruckner strikes out. 1 out, bottom of the 5th. There's Nick Rillo, left-handed hitter, steps in. Middle infield now playing at double play depth. As that changeup floats too far inside for a ball. On Nick Rillo, it's a 1-ball, no strike count. So middle infielders playing at double play depth. The corner infielders for Franklin Regional are playing even with the bases. And Nick Rillo hit with a pitch again, and this time it's an RBI hit by pitch. He was hit in his last plate appearance, hit there again. He has no official plate appearances, but that time he gets hit. It drives a run home for Bethel Park.
Now up number 22, Eric Mills.
Eric Meal will bat here. He was taken out as a defensive substitution for the top of the 5th, and now that his spot comes back up in the order, he is re-entered into the game, so his substitution out permanently, and so Eric Mill back in with no more re-entries available. And he's the batter you want in here. Big run scorer for Bethel Park, has come through plenty of times during the regular season. Takes ball 1 too high there, counts 1-0. Fly ball, more of a pop-up, foul territory down the right field line, and it is foul. Evan Meeker was out there. He slid, almost got his leg caught in that fence. It hit off his glove. It was a good effort, but it does drop foul, uncaught. Counts even 1 ball and 1 strike. Noah Lejeune on third, Mike Bruckner on second, Nick Rillo on first base. One out, bases loaded. Bethel Park up by 2 runs now, and the 1-1. Too low. The count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Three ball, 1 strike count. Hitters count for Eric Meal. 3 ball, 1 strike pitch. On the ground, sharply hit through the left side of the infield. 1 run scores. Mike Bruckner on his way home. A strong throw from left, but it's late. Throw to third, not in time. Throw to second, non-existent. That was a strong throw from left field. Anthony Mitchell got it in quickly. Not quickly enough, though, to prevent Mike Bruckner from scoring. Noah Lejeune scores from third base. Mike Bruckner scores from second. Nick Rillo advances from first to third on the play. Eric Meal, credited with a single, advanced to second on the throw. And now Bethel Park leading 5-1. And with that, Franklin Regional is going to make a substitution on the mound.
Number 32 for Franklin Regional exits the game with 95 pitches.
And at the same time as well, Eric Meal is officially going to be taken out of the game. He was already sub for once. He's going to be sub for again, and this time he will be permanently removed from the game. And Aaron Hoffbauer will be the pinch runner and likely outfielder whenever the defensive 6th for Bethel Park comes up. And the left-hander comes on the mound for Franklin Regional, and that is Nico Fioravanti. I'll tell you more about his appearance coming up here. We'll reset the scenario after this quick message. We got Sharp Insurance Agency, who is sponsoring this pitching change. SharpINSAgency.com, 412-207-9047. Mike J. Sharp, the principal agent over there at Sharp Insurance Agency. Bethel Park leading 5-1. It is the bottom of the 5th inning. This game has been broken open by Bethel Park. Nico Fioravanti, left-handed pitcher, now warming up. And Franklin Regional still not quite out of trouble. There's still 2 runners in scoring position. Aaron Hoffbauer is pinch running for Eric Meal at second base. And a pinch hitter coming to the plate for Bethel Park. On the ground, right side of the field. Throw to the plate. Safe is the call. Ramshanadran's throw to home plate. Not quite in time.
Next up, number 12, Joey Levis.
Bethel Park scores another run and now leads 6-1. And still 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. And so a couple substitutions there. The batted ball was hit by Dylan Paul. He pinch hit for Owen White. And now Dylan Paul is going to be pinch ran for. Give you that runner in a minute, but a run scored on that play. Here's the pitch to Joey Levis. Takes ball 1. So Owen White credited with an RBI, reaches on a fielder's choice. Runner goes from first, bunt shown, pulled back, strike called. And no throw to second base. Hoffbauer on third base, runner on second. 1-1 pitch to Levis is a ball. And that pinch runner is Brian Bitkowski, one of the seniors on this Bethel Park team. Pitch delivered is a ball. Counts 3-1. Sharply hit through the right side of the infield for a hit. Hoffbauer scores from third. Ball misplayed by Meeker in right field, which is going to easily allow Bitkowski to score from second base. And Bethel Park tacks on 2 more runs and is now pouring it on. It is 8-1. Bunt shown. Petrus gets the bunt down. Played on the mound. Throw to first. Late. Petrus bunt single, his first hit of the game. He's 1 for 4.
Next up, number 18, Ethan Stanhoff.
I'll bring up Ethan Stanhoff. Stanhoff batting for the second time now this inning. Bethel Park has 6 runs in. It's an 8-1 game. And that pitch called a strike. Stanhoff singled to open up the inning. He's the 10th batter of the inning to hit. Pitcher comes set and delivers a high fastball off the plate, out of the zone, count even 1-1. Levis on second, Petrus on first. The pitch, pop foul. Count is 1-2. Caden Stokes was Ethan Stanhoff's courtesy runner who ended up scoring earlier this inning. Fioravanti's pitch is too low, blocked by Catello. Franklin Regional had a 1-run lead for half an inning. Bethel Park ended up scoring 2 in the bottom of the 4th to make it 2-1. Franklin Regional did not score in the top of the 5th. Bethel Park working on a 6-run bottom of the 5th and a soft line drive caught at second base by Anthony DePaulo. And that is out number 2. Noah Lejeune earlier this inning. He singled and later scored. Eight to 1 score. Here's the pitch. It is lined out towards straightaway left. It falls for a hit. Throw in is cut off, relayed, and then offline to the plate. Catello goes to recover, and both runners advance on the throw. Noah Lejeune, RBI base hit there, makes it a 9-1 game. Another strong throw by Anthony Mitchell in left field, but the relay was offline. So Lejeune credited with another hit this inning. He's 2 for 4. Both of his hits are from this 5th inning. And both runners advance on the throw that Joey Levis scored on. So that means on the play, Ryan Petrus advanced from first to third. Noah Lejeune found his way to second. As that pitch misses for a ball, counts 2-0 on Mike Bruckner. 2-0. Popped up, right field, foul territory. Meeker running after it toward the wall, and it drops foul. It one-hopped the wall in foul territory. That's how deep that ball was hit. Long strike, counts 2-1. 7 runs in for Bethel Park. They got 2 in the 4th inning, so their total is 9. 9-1's the score. Mike Bruckner now the third hitter to bat this inning twice. Ball. Bethel Park has batted around and more. Stanhoff, Lejeune, and now Mike Bruckner, all with 2 plate appearances just this inning. 3-1's down low, ball 4. Mike Bruckner has reached every time that he's hit this game. That's 4 times now Mike Bruckner's been on base. And here comes Jack Bruckner getting a second opportunity this inning after striking out earlier in this 5th inning. Make him the 13th hitter now of the inning for Bethel Park. He shows bunt, gets it down, and the throw goes to first. Jack Bruckner bunts with 2 outs. And the play made by the pitcher, Fiora Vanti. And mercifully, the inning ends. 13 hitters come to the plate for Bethel Park. 7 of them score. And after 5 full innings, it is Bethel Park 9 and Franklin Regional 1. You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, presented by All Pro Plumbing. You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, simulcast on Bethel Park Public Access. No, not true. That's my habit. This is not on BPTV. That's my apologies. That's just a habit of mine. You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, and this broadcast is presented by All Pro Plumbing. Nick Rillo is pitching now for Bethel Park. Soft fly ball out to left center field. That's going to fall in for a base hit by N.J. Ramchandran. So he leads off the top of the 6th inning with a single for Franklin Regional. Franklin Regional gave up 7 runs when 13th batters hit in the bottom of the 5th. It's now a 9-1 commanding Bethel Park lead. Nick Rillo now pitching for Bethel Park. Throws a strike to Evan Meeker, who's getting his first plate appearances in here. Luke Williams was taken out an inning ago. So now Meeker in the game, and he is the right fielder now for Franklin Regional. Nick Rillo's pitch is a ball. So Bethel Park defensive substitutions. Nick Rillo goes from second to pitch. Mason Stewart goes from the bench to second base. Owen White re-enters the game to play first, and Aaron Hoffbauer remains in the game to play left. Softly hit. Nick Rillo catches the pop-up, throws it to Owen White at first. Double play. Was a soft pop-up right to Nick Rillo on the mound. Nick Rillo caught it. Rob Chandran was too far off the first base bag and got thrown out for not tagging up in time. Now here's Brady Yarbinitz, center fielder, four-hitter in the order for Franklin Regional. Takes ball one from Nick Rillo. So Dylan Schumacher, 5 complete innings, 1 run given up. Rillo throws a strike, counts 1-1. Franklin Regional, the 13 seed, now down by 8 runs. And on the brink of elimination in the WPIAL first round, Class 5A playoffs. 1-1 pitch. In the dirt. Popped up on the infield. Ethan Stanhoff might have a play, but no, Nick Rillo's going to call him off and make the catch on the beginning part of that first base line. And that'll end the inning. Franklin Regional got a hit, but it was erased after a double play. No runs on a hit. Nobody left on base after 5.5. It's Bethel Park 9, Franklin Regional 1. You're watching Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube. And this broadcast presented by All Pro Plumbing.
All Pro Plumbing, Heating and Cooling in Bethel Park sponsors tonight's game. 5800 Library Road, 412-595-8204. AllProPlumbing.com. All Pro Plumbing, trusted plumbing services and expert plumbers in Bethel Park.
You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube. This broadcast is presented by All Pro Plumbing. Franklin Regional down by 8 runs. Franklin Regional will have one more opportunity on offense. This is a 7-inning regulation game. We're in the bottom of the 6th. Bethel Park, 6, 7, 8 hitters due up. Nick Rillo, Aaron Hoffbauer, and Owen White, the 3 set to hit. Eric Meal was already re-entered into the game once, so he will not be permitted to come back in. They won't have him on offense. Not that they need it, though, with their 8-run lead. Strike called there to Nick Rillo. Lefty-on-lefty matchup with Fioravanti still on the mound. Bethel Park batted 13 in the bottom of the 5th inning and scored 7. Pitch missed for a ball. From the wind-up, the pitch. Strike. Counts 1-2 on Rillo. Line drive. Straightaway right field. That falls in front of Meeker and gets past him. He misplayed it. Rillo rounding second. Meeker just gets the ball now, and Rillo took a hard turn around and then stopped immediately almost immediately after he touched the base. Leadoff double for Nick Rillo. That's his first hit of the game. Nick Rillo was hit by 2 pitches earlier on in the game. That was his first official at bat and his first official hit. Aaron Hoffbauer comes up to hit. Bethel Park has a pinch runner come in, or a courtesy runner, come in for Nick Rillo now that he's pitching. Pull back on the bunt attempt, ball 1 to Hoffbauer. And the courtesy runner for Bethel Park is Cody Roberts. Roberts leads off second. The pitch, strike there from Fioravanti. Count is even, 1 ball, 1 strike on Aaron Hoffbauer. Substitution into the game. That's something Bethel Park's done throughout the season. They've had Meal bat. And then when they've needed defensive help, they've brought Aaron Hoffbauer in. Hoffbauer, left-handed hitter, left-handed pitcher on the mound. That last pitch missed too high. Now the 2-1 pitch coming here from Fioravanti. Ball 3. 9-1 Bethel Park lead. Bottom of the 6th inning. Nobody out. Ball 4, too high. And Hoffbauer walks. Cody Roberts on second, Aaron Hoffbauer on first, nobody out. And Owen White comes back up to the plate. He was pinch hit for by Dylan Paul, who reached on a fielder's choice and drove in a run. Dylan Paul was replaced by Brian Bitkowski to run. And then after the inning, Owen White was re-entered and is now playing first base and batting again. Ball. On the 1-0 pitch, counts 2 balls and no strikes on Owen White. Owen White, the 8 hitter in the order. It's Joey Levis, and then back to the top for Bethel Park. 2-0 pitch. Soft line drive into left field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Mitchell fields it on 2 hops. Cody Roberts stopped at third. The throw goes straight into the plate. And each runner and the batter, runner White, all advance to just 1 base. So it's Cody Roberts, who's courtesy running for Nick Rillo, who's on third. Aaron Hoffbauer is on second. Owen White is on first. And now a meeting at the mound for Franklin Regional, talking to Nico Fioravanti, who came in relief of the starting pitcher, Jonah Willishell, who was pitching pretty decently up until that 5th inning. It was a combination of Willishell and Fioravanti, who gave up the 7 runs to Bethel Park in the bottom of the 5th. And Fioravanti is now done. He will no longer pitch. He's going to have a substitution here. James Templeton, first right-hander to pitch for Franklin Regional. He comes in here. And since we have a pitching change, we'll say that this pitching change is sponsored by Sharp Insurance Agency, sharpinsagency.com, 412-207-9047. That's Mike J. Sharp there, the principal agent of Sharp Insurance Agency, again sponsoring this pitching change. James Templeton, right-hander in here. Not a high tense situation in terms of the score since it's an 8-run lead, but Bethel Park threatening to score again with the bases loaded and nobody out. Joey Levis, the 9-hitter in the order, set to bat here, and then it'll go back to the top. Franklin Regional was able to score in the top of the 4th inning. They got the first run of the game for either team. Bethel Park got 2 in the bottom of the 4th inning, so it was a short-lived lead, and then the breakout 7-run bottom of the 5th has been the difference maker in this game and the separating factor, the 8-run separating factor to be exact. Joey Levis steps into the box and takes a strike. Counts 0-1 from James Templeton. That's a ball. Counts even. 1 ball, 1 strike. This is the first round of the Class 5A WPIAL playoffs. The winner of this game goes on to play Thomas Jefferson in the quarterfinals. The 1-1 pitch. Soft liner over the head of the third baseman. A run's going to score. Mitchell charges. Mitchell fires to the plate. The throw is missed by Catello, the catcher. The second run on that play scores, and that makes it 11-1, and that ends the ball game. It's a 10-run mercy rule that Bethel Park has just triggered. Ball game's over.
Thank you all for coming out today to watch this battle.
And Joey Levis went 3 for 4, drove in a bunch of runs for Bethel Park in the game. And with that one, again, the mercy rule triggered on that play. Cody Robertson, Aaron Hoffbauer were able to score. James Templeton gives up the game-winning runs to Bethel Park. Again, the mercy rule there in effect. 11-1, 11-1. The final score, it was an 8-run deficit for Franklin Regional, then made a 10-run deficit. Again, since it was after 4.5 innings, Bethel Park wins by the mercy rule default. So, I mean, it was a strong game through the first 4 innings. It was 2-1 after 4. Franklin Regional did have a lead in this game. It's just that that 5th inning was messy for Franklin Regional, allowing the 7 runs to score, and just an all-around effort there for Bethel Park to bring the bats alive and get 13 batters to come to the plate and allow 7 runners to come around to score. And a lopsided 11-1 Bethel Park win here. And I'll show you the bracket one more time, the updated bracket from all the rain delays that happened yesterday. I mean, this is the bracket, aside from that Connellsville-Penn Trafford game that, we'll see if that has a score posted here. No, it doesn't, but that game was played at noon according to the bracket. So whoever won that game will play Shaler on that right side of the bracket. Mars set to play Peters Township. That game did go final. That game was played here just before this Bethel Park Franklin Regional game. So it's Peters Township and Mars that are going to play on that right side of the bracket. And now the left side of the bracket is complete there. As you can see, Thomas Jefferson will play Bethel Park in the quarterfinals coming up on Monday. And it's Pine Richland and Greater Latrobe that are going to play that same Monday as well in the quarterfinals of the bracket. That's pretty much all that needs to be said there. I'll give one more moment for our leading sponsor, presenting sponsor, All Pro Plumbing, to give a message.
All Pro Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling in Bethel Park sponsors tonight's game. 5800 Library Road, 412-595-8204. AllProPlumbing.com. All Pro Plumbing, trusted plumbing services and expert plumbers in Bethel Park.
Well, that'll do it. Thanks to our sponsors, All Pro Plumbing and Sharp Insurance Agency. Again, that 5th inning was the difference maker in this game. 7 runs for Bethel Park in the 5th inning, and they ultimately win by an 11-1 final score. You've been watching Blackhawk TV on YouTube. My name is Nicholas Callis. Repeating the final score one more time, it's 11-1. This has been a presentation of Blackhawk TV on YouTube.